And that whilst your purpose
that you've signed up to
your
and we share together is to be your best in all you do.
And greatness can only be measured by the difference between before you showed up and after you showed up. If I look at the number of people whose lives have been transformed by your voice, that's how we measure your greatness.
I'm sharing with everyone about monetizing your personal brand as a speaker. And in these words, how to go from free to fee. So our assignment is to help you see why and how you should build a pipeline of products so you can turn your passion to profit as you go from free to fee. Who's ready? If you're ready, can I get in the chat? Say, I'm ready, I'm ready. Okay, so why is this important? Why do we have to talk about going from free to fee? Well, because making the money helps you sustain the message. So we have talked a lot about the message. We have talked a lot about what it's going to take to put your message out there, finding your voice. And man, FB just really broke it down. I've never heard it simplified that much before. But why do you need to make money? Because then you can sustain this message. You can buy back your time. So if your business is making money, I don't mean the money you make from your 9 to 5 or the money you make from other streams of income. But if this business, this work of speaking, coaching, consulting, creativity, if this business is making its own money, then you can hire people to help you. You can invest in tools to help you automate it. Also, you can do it from anywhere. And this year has shown us really that you have to start working on something that can actually be done from anywhere. If you're making money, then you can do that. You can actually decide to say, you know what, I'm going to build a system or a structure that allows me to work or to operate from anywhere. And then you can continue to grow and improve. For example, you invested in Speak for Gold. Every brings up other programs. You want to invest in them. Money. Money is the means of exchange for investing in that. And as we've heard, gold is gold in any currency. So it's important to be able to exchange value for that value. And then, of course, making money gives you freedom to invest in yourself, to invest in businesses, to invest money, and to impact lives. You know that some of the biggest or most popular philanthropists are also some of the richest people. It's the mathematics is actually clear, very clear. Making money gives you that freedom. So how do you go from free to fee? What are the product types you can create? What packages can you come up with? Well, there are generally 4 ways. The first one is you can do something that people want to do, but they cannot or will not do for themselves. And as we go along, I'm going to share examples of these, and people, I'll say like you, because I've seen the different things that people do who are already doing this. But first of all, it's worth thinking about what can I do for people that they can't do for themselves or they won't do for themselves. And you don't have to think too far about it. The thing that is so easy for you to do, so easy. I'm trying to think of something so easy, so normal. So for example, some people just love to cook jollof rice. It's so normal. But you will find out that some people hate it. Some people don't want to do it and they will not do it. So they'll rather hire a chef. Like that's a very obvious example, right? So you can do something for people that they want done, or they cannot or will not do for themselves. So you're an interior architect. I saw that earlier. You're an interior architect. That's something that I cannot do. I cannot. So you can do it for me, package that as a product. You can guide people on the journey that they want to take. And this is really good for speakers because many times after speaking, people still need you to help them because transformation takes time. So you can say, all right, I'm going to guide you on this journey. So maybe you're a speaker and your message or your topic is about how to build generational wealth. Yes, you can have a 2-hour session where you speak about it, but some people will still want you to guide what kind of decisions should I make? What kind of buckets, financial buckets should I create? What do I do next? So that's how you can come up with packages to guide people on a journey they want to take. You can teach them something they want to learn. It's the most obvious one for speakers, right? Because people want to learn something, you have the knowledge or the expertise, and you share with them at a fee. Fourthly, you can give them tools and implementation products. I like to explain this a bit because most people only think about tools. So tools like maybe an app. So if someone tells you, oh, I want to track my time, I want to manage my schedule better, you tell them, oh, why don't you get a calendar app? That's a tool. But then there are also implementation products. And for those of us who are in this industry of sharing knowledge, sharing expertise, speaking, implementation products really help to go along with what you're saying. So speaking, it's like a learning product, but implementation products like planners, like workbooks, those kind of things help people to take action, because you find that there's something that you talk to them, talk, and they still don't take any action. They don't even know what to do next. They don't take the next step. So that's where implementation products come in. So there's a lot more than that you can do than just speaking. So let's break it down. Events and community, I often start here because that's the natural next step for people who have speaking businesses. They're just like, oh, I like to talk, so why don't I just gather many people together and talk to them? So yeah, it's a valid option. You can create a workshop or a boot camp. Is semantics, really. Call it what you like. But the idea is that you get people together to get something done over a period of time, to achieve something over a period of time. So there are different workshops, like, depending on your topic, that you could come up with. You can have a webinar. We're used to that. We saw lots of webinars this year. Lots of webinars. So if you don't want to call yours a webinar, you can actually make it into a masterclass. So it's not just one webinar. You can make it into a masterclass. And again, semantics here, some people will call their own super class or something class. You can decide to be unique, but the most important thing is to become the results that people get. You can have a live training, like a physical training, get people in the physical room and speak with them. Then the other ones that are, become on conferences, summits. You can organize a retreat. So if you're a wellness coach, or you deal with health, or you work around clarity, or you're a coach, retreats are really good, because again, sometimes people just need time, and sometimes they need a different environment. So if you realize that there is value in giving people a different environment to execute what you're working together to achieve, you can organize a retreat, and literally anything can be done over a retreat. Even this Speak the Gold could actually be done over a period of time where everybody just gets the place together. But the only con with that is people will now be limited by location, but then it works for some people. And you could have a membership community. So that's a community where people pay to be members. They pay monthly, they pay quarterly, they pay annually to be a member of your community. And this, you will find this will work for like your fans. There are some people in your audience that everything you say, they grab it hook, line, and sinker. They will benefit from being a part of your community so that they can get consistent value from you. An example of what I just said is Adeyo Lajiga. He's one of my clients. He's an executive coach and is a co-founder of Food Pro Group. He works with entrepreneurs to scale their businesses. So he created a workshop to help business leaders find clarity to scale and to execute immediately. Very simple, but it was a workshop, got lots of business leaders in the room. Look, you need to scale. What do you need to do next? How do you decide what to do next? And that was it. So you don't actually need any sort of permission, or you don't need any extra certificate. If you know what you know, if you need to be certified, of course, be certified. But if you can get people results, you can organize a workshop as early as next week. You just need Zoom. You just need Zoom. Then tools and books. So these are some of the learning products and implementation products we talked about. So you can create a planner, you can create a template. So for example, if you're a productivity coach, you might be able to create a planner for people. If you a personal finance coach, you might be able to create a budgeting template. And you see, the thing is, you only think that, oh, who is going to buy that? Or it's common sense. But we all know that common sense is not common practice, because everybody doesn't know what you know, and that's a fact. We've not all been on the same journey. So you can create tools and books. That's why people still buy books today, because we see the value in learning that has been condensed. So somebody takes what they've learned in the past 3 years, they condense it into a book, and then you purchase it off the shelf and you learn from them. So same thing you can do. It could be an ebook, an audiobook, a book, or it could even be a compilation of resources. So you can compare resources that people can work with. So for example, if you're in maybe food industry or fitness industry, people have all those questions like, where can I get this? Or what do they call this? Or when I go to the market, what do I say? So you can actually compile, a list of resource. So that's something you can do. Maybe most people in your industry might have recipe books. You can make your own recipe plus resource book. So where to find everything, the utensils, the ingredients, how to decide how many calories you're taking in, that kind of stuff. So it's something you can do. Workbooks too, people buy workbooks. So workbooks are they're not actual books. They're more like companion guides. They're more like guides where people fill in, and as they fill in, they're getting clarity. So, and you can create it for anything, any topic at all. As people are, filling it in, they are getting clarity. You can create workbooks. An example would be Dr. Mola Salah, my client as well. She's an award-winning oncologist, and she uses tech and medicine to tackle cancer. So even though she's a doctor, she's also always creating other solutions. And when I was listening to what I said earlier, I actually just thought of her when he was talking about your pain, because she also, like 15 years ago or something ago, she lost her sister to cancer. So she takes this thing very personal. Any method she can attack it from, she'll do. So she created a workbook, right, called Gift of Survivorship. And through that framework, she helps people find clarity even when they're dealing with cancer, either as patients or as caregivers. And now she has expanded it to something like cancer coaching, where she helps people find that calm and clarity on their journey. Because she understands it not just as a healthcare professional, but even from personal experience. So she's like, how else can we help people apart from what medical science has provided? So this is an example. And of course, she also speaks about it in different places, even outside the country. So, but she has created that to help people go through this journey by themselves. So courses are very popular now. So what I just want you to know is that you can create a course. You can create a course. So courses are very popular now, and some people will be like, "Oh my gosh, it's overdone. Everybody has a course." Or what would I put? You can create a course. It doesn't have to be like gigantic. It could be an audio course. It could be an email-based course where 7 days to 7 days to writing your first ebook, 7 days to starting your agric business. Something starter that you can give beginners, people that heard you speak and they're like, what do I do next? It could be a video course, or it could be a transformational program. Transformational programs, the difference between like just mini courses and transformational programs, the transformational programs usually come with coaching. So Speak for Gold is transformational, and you can see because you're just like, this value, just that value of hearing Eddie's voice, seeing him go through this process with you. So it's not just take videos and go and watch. It's a combination of everything. So that's really the difference when something is transformational. And then you can have a tutorial library. So a tutorial library helps you to put different kind of content in one place. So maybe like videos, instead of just putting it on YouTube, because you know that on YouTube is accessible to everyone. So you can create a tutorial library of different videos where people pay. So for example, the person who is an interior architect, if you were going to give us tutorials on how to do like DIY interior or anything like that, you can actually create a tutorial library that is different tutorials. Okay, so I'm just seeing some of the comments. Telecommunication expert, program specialist, admin and brand manager. So as an admin and brand manager, for example, you can create a library of different ways to improve your brand, different ways to improve your marketing that you can do by yourself, and people can pay to access that library. So it doesn't have to be mega, like 100 videos that people will not finish watching. There are different types of courses. And so while we're still talking about transformational program, right? Here is Bumi Odua. Bumi, and I just wanted to bring her as an example because what she does not sound so businessy, right? She's a relationship coach, but her focus is she helps women build intimacy with God, with themselves and their spouse. She actually has a transformational program called Intimacy with God. So do you see, like, it's a course with her coaching and it's intimacy with God. So it's not just about something that sounds business. It's not like this is only for people that are helping you make money, or this is only for people that are helping you save money. No, like whatever message that God has given to you, or whatever you believe is the difference that you're here to make, you can still package it. You can package it. You can package it into a product. Client services. So again, back to the brand manager example, or the person who said, oh, I love Ayamashe, but I will not make it for any reason. Exactly. So someone can do a done for you service. And we're used to seeing this when we see things like caterers, event planners, website designers. Those are services that people do for you. But even you in your business, you can do done for you service. As an educator, it's a done for you service. I mean, like, I can't take up the responsibility of schooling my child myself. That's why I'll send my child to you. So it's a done for you service. In every business, there can be a done for you service. It's just a question of whether you want to do it, whether you have the bandwidth for it or not. You could do one-on-one consulting. So I do this like every week where I have strategy sessions with people, you know, one-on-one, do 90 minutes, and then define, like what Simi was describing earlier. So yes, one-on-one consulting, anybody can do it within any industry for any topic. So for example, someone says she's a relationship coach. As a relationship coach, you know, there's some questions that you can't answer in the DM. So maybe someone saw you speaking somewhere or they watched you live on IG, then they enter your DM. And just like, this matter, it needs context. Like, who are you? Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Your partner, where did you grow up? Do you guys, who have you met before? Who have you been with? So when you want to solve a problem that needs context, then you do one-on-one consulting. And what do you need? Calendly. Just get a free Calendly account so people can book on your calendar and meet with them on Zoom. Put a price to it. So, and you can also make it group coaching. So instead of like one-on-one, but I'll come back to coaching. Another one is audits or diagnosis. So personalized audits. As a brand person, you can decide to audit someone's online presence or audit their social media. I'm sure you've seen that where people say, oh, drop your IG handle, let me audit it, let me diagnose. Yes, that is an example of personalized audit or diagnosis. And you can do it in any industry. You can do it as a financial planner, for example. The same way you sit with a doctor and then they ask you questions. And based on your answers, they come up with a diagnosis. Exactly. So same thing you can do in your business. So maybe you're a confidence coach, you know, for example, and you want to help people troubleshoot, like, why exactly are you not confident? Because there are different reasons. For some people, it's their history. For some, it's their environment. So you want to audit that, you want to diagnose and come up with something. So you can have, you know, you can call it something funky. You can call it speed diagnosis session or quick audit. It doesn't have to be, every product doesn't have to be big, massive. It doesn't have to take all your time. And the beautiful thing about these things is that you can decide. You can set your calendar in a way that you only have 3 clients a week or you only have 4 a week. So it's not like, oh, you have to leave your job to go and start this. Then there's done with you service. A done with you service is a service where you work with people one-on-one over time to create a particular result. So for example, if you have a course and somebody comes to you and says, you know what, I don't want to just be someone on the road that just took your course. I want you to work with me one-on-one. I want hand holding. I want guidance, you know, like I shared earlier, guiding people on the journey. Those kind of people, you can sign them up for a done with you service. And then another example of client services is staff training. Staff training. So some people will tell you that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Even if you teach me, I'm not going to do it. So, but I have a team. Can you teach them how to do it? So like Simi is a great example of this. She has come up with a service for helping your assistant to be more effective, highly effective assistant. She's training your staff to help you. So you can do the same. Like there are different things you can train people's staff to do. So if you're a customer service expert, you can do that. If you're a brand experience expert, you can do that. If you're a graphic designer and somebody says, you know, I don't think I should be outsourcing this all the time. Can you come and do like in-house, you know, training, brush up for my team? They're okay, but maybe they're not caught up with the times. You can offer that as a staff training package. Are you still with me? If you're here, say I'm here. So for me, Oshibajo is an example of this. She's one of my students as well. She helps business owners, coaches, and consultants to build email lists so that they never run out of customers online. And how does she do it? She offers one-on-one services, like it's done for you. She'll set up your email list for you, collect her money, and go. Like that's it. That's her business. So, or she can even schedule and automate your emails for you. So it's happening on autopilot. She's doing it. That's what she does. So these are examples of one-on-one services that you can offer, or client services. Then we have coaching. Coaching is becoming more popular over time. And the reason is simple, like all top performers have coaches, you know. So people are looking for coaches, and in particular, there are people who are looking for your own type of coaching. Because don't forget, somebody might be able to coach on the same topic you're coaching on, but they're still not you. So you can coach people to help them win. You know, you can coach people people to help them reach a goal, to help them achieve something they want to achieve. And there are different ways to offer coaching. You can do it one-on-one. You can have someone have like maybe a one-on-one coaching package. You can have group coaching. You know, what is going on right now is a kind of example of that. Like what FD does is, you know, coaching people as a group. Then you can have a coaching subscription where people say, you know what, I just want to be listening to you for the next 1 year. I just want you to help me walk through, you know, hold me. This is the finish line. I want you to hold me to it and even past it. So people can renew their coaching subscription. Pretty much the way you renew your Netflix subscription. You can package your coaching like that. And then you can have coaching events. So I've seen coaches who have coaching events who say, okay, so this is going to be a coaching event. It's just coaching. And we want only 10 people in this room, you know. So you can plan it that way. This is Ogaga. Ogaga is one of my students. She's a senior project management professional. And guess what she coaches people to do? To pass the PMP. So I don't even know, like so straightforward. So she uses group coaching. And there's something about how she does it. People pass. Like she's just literally always posting pictures of people who pass at the first attempt. And she didn't like go to school to study how to be a PMP coach or anything. She actually passed her own PMP exam at the first attempt, and she passed in flying colors. Everybody on LinkedIn was like, how did you do it? That was how she realized that, oh, so it's something special, you know? And then she took some people just for free, or just say, oh, you want to take the program? She walked them through it, and they all passed. She was like, okay, maybe there's something here. And so that was how she now said, okay, I think I need to figure out how to make this work and make this sustainable. And then she became my student. The rest is history. My point is, the thing that you're doing naturally now, the thing you're already working on, the natural next step might be to just package it into a product and put a fee on it. Today, anybody can do this. Like some of the tools I've shared, this is Zoom, Calendly, Gmail. We have access to so many tools. They are free, they are cheap. Anybody can do it. Anybody can get on the internet right now, start building an audience and start selling something. And that's exactly what a lot of people are doing. It might even be pissing you off. Like you might just be like, as in, what is it? Everybody is doing something. Everybody is coaching. Everybody is creating products. Why are you not asking, why is everybody opening shop? It's business. Anybody can do it. And you can. But if you decide to do it, what is going to be your edge? What are you going to do differently? Why would people choose you? That's the question. And here are 3 things that I know for sure. If people don't know about you, they can't use whatever help you're offering. So, you know, it's really nice when we talk about, you're a platform, you're a leader, you're a channel, you're a river, you know, you're a pathfinder, and you're a trailblazer and all those things. But no matter how good, no matter how helpful, no matter how beneficial what you're teaching or what you're offering is, if people don't know about you, they still can't take up your offer. They still can't use whatever help you're offering. And then if they don't like you, they may not listen. So this is like good and bad. It's good because if somebody doesn't like my own mentor, they might like another person's mentor. So that means that my mentor has business and that person's mentor also has business. So just because we don't like everybody and we don't like the same people, so 2 people can be teaching the same thing and all of them will still have clients. That's the good part. But the other thing is that if the people that you are sent to, maybe you don't appear to them, you don't show up to them the right way, they may not listen. Then the third thing is if they don't trust you, they won't buy into what you're selling, no matter what you're selling. So, you know, I showed you an example of someone who was selling, you know, who's creating something that you would call spiritual. Like she's helping people. It's really beautiful. Like it's the kind of thing you'll be clapping for and saying, oh, wow, that's so, you know, that's so inspiring. But if people don't trust her, even if, you know, she calls it any name, they still won't buy into what she's selling. And no matter what you sell, even if it is for free, even if you're just selling your faith, selling your values, selling anything, if people don't trust, they won't buy into it. It works everywhere. And this is just all about influence. Even if you're trying to convince people to follow you to make a particular decision, they won't buy into it if they don't trust you. So getting people to know you, to like you, to trust you is so crucial. You can no longer overlook it. You can no longer just say, God sent me, that's all I know. As long as I'm there, anybody that wants it should take it. No, that's not how it works. That's where personal branding comes in. Okay, so that's where personal branding comes in. If people don't know you, They can't use your help. If they don't like you, they won't listen. And that attention is very important. Attention is the thing that everybody wants. You want them to pay attention. You want them to listen. If they don't trust you, they won't buy into what you're selling. And this is why you cannot keep hiding. You can't keep doing all this. Oh, and people don't need to, you don't need to talk about what you're doing. And people don't need to know. You are called to shine, not to hide. If FD had been hiding, would you be here? Like if you did not know that he existed, if he was only just talking to his family and people on the street, would you be here? So you can no longer hide. You're a light, and light is supposed to shine. Light is supposed to be seen. The world not only needs to see your lights, they also need to hear your voice. So that's where personal branding comes in. Your personal brand is what separates you from everyone else in the world. So, you know, I was talking earlier about the fact that anybody can do what you do. If you have a really nice app that makes things easy for you, somebody else can go and buy that same app, right? If you maybe have a coach or a fancy certification, somebody else can go and get it. They can hire your coach. They can go and get certified in the same thing that you're certified in. But what they cannot do is to copy you. They can't copy your stories, no matter how quirky they are. They can't copy your experience. They can't copy your mistakes that you have made, because those are all the things that make you you. They can't copy your pain. So, and all these things are part of what you infuse into your personal brand. And that's why your personal brand separates you from everybody else. So as important as it is to talk about products, anybody can create those products. And that's why I did my best to show like different examples of people who are doing it. So you just easily see, oh yeah, I can do this. You actually can. But what will make the difference? Why would people choose you instead of others? So what exactly is personal branding? Personal branding is everything you do to establish and manage your reputation, such that you're easily remembered for something specific whenever people see your face or hear your name. This is FD. When we see his face, leadership coach, business consultant, inspirational speaker, all those things come to mind. Yes or yes? Yes. Do you actually feel that way whenever you see his face or hear his name? Are those the things that come to your mind? Yes, personal branding is what makes that happen. So you establish and manage your reputation in a way that you're easily remembered for something specific. Somebody said, yes. Yes. So you're easily remembered for something specific whenever people see your face or hear your name. And it can happen. It's not random. The question is, what's your personal brand like? Everybody has a personal brand because everybody has a reputation. If I see your face, something comes to my mind. If I ask your friends about you, they will say something. But is your personal brand chaotic? Like, is it a puzzle that nobody can solve where 20 different people are saying 20 different things? Is it all over the place? Is it, okay, we don't know who you are. We don't know how to relate to you. Is that how your personal brand is? Because you actually have a personal brand. So the question is, which one is it? Is it chaotic? Is it a puzzle that cannot be solved? Or is it, aligned? Is it strategic? Is it something that you have intentionally brought together piece by piece? So there might be different parts of you. There might be different ways you express yourself, but are you able to bring them together? Are you intentional about how you put yourself out there? Are you intentional about, your reputation, what people think about when they see you? And this is not even, I'm not saying, oh, okay, like people have to think of you as CEO or something, but even without knowing your title, when they see you, can they say, this person is calm, or this person, are you intentional about projecting and presenting yourself that way? When they Google your name, do they have complete information? Does the information make sense? And a good way to answer that question is actually to Google yourself. Just Google yourself. Open a browser, like a brand new browser, incognito browser, private window, and Google yourself. Then you'll be able to answer that question to know, okay, what do people see when they see me? How do they think about it when they see me? Personal brand doesn't just happen. It's not something that's, okay, if you live long enough, your personal brand will fall into place. No, there has to be one day where you say to yourself, I'm light, I'm going to shine, I'm a voice, I'm going to be heard, but what will they hear and what will they see? There has to be one day where you just decide, going forward, this is how I'm going to be intentional about what people see and hear when they see my face or hear my name. So it's not random, it's a strategic process of discovering your unique value, communicating your unique value, and presenting your unique value to the world. I say unique because even though it sounds cliche, everybody is actually unique. Even if we're just all born as babies, just babies, 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 even those babies have unique fingerprints. And as they grow up in different environments. They pick up different types of education. They have, different sets of skills. They make different kinds of mistakes. Everybody has their own journey. So it's not just about expertise or knowledge. It's unique because your journey is unique, because your story is unique. So it's a strategic process, and strategy should drive tactics. So what are some of the tactics that you've heard? As in, what have I not heard? I've heard post on Instagram 4 times a day. I've heard use hashtags, try to beat the algorithm. Please, what kind of tactics have you heard? And tactics are good, it's just that there are plenty. It's just that there are lots and lots of them. Lots of tactics. There is social media, of course. There is networking, of course. All those things are good. All those things are important. But guess what? If you commit to your strategy, the tactics will commit to you. It's actually possible to be doing the exact same thing somebody is doing and not get results. Because tactics are, yes, you can decide today and say, okay, you know what? I think Snapchat is the thing for me. Let me go to Snapchat. It's your strategy that should drive how you show up on Snapchat, not the other way around. So if you commit to your own strategy for delivering your personal brand, then the tactics will commit to you. So strategy over tactics anytime. Bola Adefila is one of my clients. She's an entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Bandwidth Rolls Nigeria Limited. In short, they make tissue paper. That's what they make. So, but as a Nigerian manufacturer who has been in the business for a long time, she now helps other manufacturers to build profitable businesses. And for this, she has an online course. She has physical trainings. She does one-on-one sessions. And most recently, she published a book. Why am I talking about her? Because you can actually combine the different types of products. And it's not the products that is, sometimes people come to me and they're like, Tolu, okay, maybe I should, in fact, you know what? I think I should create a webinar. Oh, I think I should create, yes, you can do all of that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people don't know you or if they don't want to listen. But if people know about you, if they like what you represent, if they trust you, then you can create different things. So the important thing first is to just be intentional about what am I going to represent? How will I show up? What's going to be different about me? Why should people choose me? That's the more important question. And once you have that on lockdown, you just keep going. You just keep going. There are some people that no matter what they create, you're going to buy, or at least you're going to consider it, not because of the product itself, but because of the person. And that's why personal branding is important. The real value is in knowing that you have a personal brand that people trust, and that if you create something, you have people that will buy. That is the real value. So even though I talked about the different products, I want you to just remain conscious of that. Let's talk about personal branding mistakes. And if you have made any of these mistakes, just signify in the comments. I just be like, I know this one. You don't have to say it's you. Just say, oh, I know someone who's making this mistake. Okay, so personal branding mistakes to avoid. Why am I talking about these mistakes? Because again, anybody can create any product. And I want to be very clear about that. None of these things are difficult to do. Anybody can do it. So it's not about just doing it, but you want to do it in a way that is profitable. You want to make sure that you are serving the right people. You want to make sure that you are selling good products, as in products that work, not a course that was created for creating sake and just so that you also have a course, or not a workbook that was made just so that you have something to sell. But you want to make sure that you're selling something that people are even calling their friends and calling their family members and saying, you know what, you need to see this, you need to hear this, you need to listen to this person. It's all part of your personal brand. So one of the first mistakes, is like a positioning mistake. So when you're making a positioning mistake, what really happens is you realize that you're not occupying any space in the mind of your audience. Like, they don't know how to relate to you. When they hear your name, they don't even know what to do. They don't know how to think about what you offer. So they don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. They don't know who you do it for. They don't know why they should choose you. That's the positioning mistake. And it's the first thing. You just want to be clear about that. Who am I? What do I do? Who do I do it for? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to say it in like big grammar. It's not, big grammar is not the proof of your expertise. It's just about being clear. So you want to be clear about who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and why they should choose you. So some people, if your positioning is not right, one of the ways you will know is that when people ask you to talk about yourself, you ramble, or you just say many sentences and then you don't even remember where you started, you don't know where you landed. That's a positioning problem. Or if you're like, what do I do? And you can't really answer that question, it's a positioning problem. So if you go out to say, oh, okay, I need to start using hashtags, I need to check out the algorithm. Meanwhile, you've not even gotten your positioning right. That's like pouring water into a basket. So positioning first, let's make sure that we are clear about this one. Well, the next thing is your process. And just to help you remember, it all starts with P anyway. So you don't have a unique process or a defined framework. This one is the joker. All true experts have a process. All true experts have a framework, and they can talk about that framework for years. If you ask someone to talk about 7 habits of highly effective people, you can talk about it for years. You can create a book around it. You can create a coaching program around it. You can, because it's a framework that somebody created. And we know it because it's easy to know. So what's your own framework? What's your own process? So this 6 P's, for example, that I'm sharing, I created it not because it has never ever been said before, but these are the things that I work with people to solve. So as an expert, you must have your process. Every expert has a unique process or a framework that they build their customer service around, that they build their customer experience around, that they teach. That's why somebody can tell you, oh, okay, 3 pathways to finding your purpose, or 1st steps to building a home you love. So it's that process that you build your product on. If you get this right, you know what will happen? Your method will work every time. It'll be predictable. Like, you will literally be able to tell people, oh yeah, my coaching costs so and so and so, and these are the results you will get. Because you know for sure that if somebody does 2 + 2, it's going to be equal to 4. So what's your process? How do you work with people? How do you get people from point A to point B? So once you have identified, this is who I am, this is what I do, how do you do it? Everybody's method is different. Everybody. And this is how come someone will pay you a premium to do the same thing that somebody else will do cheaper, because they like your method. And it works whether with children, whether with adults. Even as a child, you like a particular nurse because maybe this nurse will play with you, will gist with you, that kind of thing. We see it with children. My daughter, like, even at the age of 2, at the hospital, she has people she likes and people she doesn't like. So it's because their method is different. They have the same title, they wear the same uniform, but the method is different. So for you, what is your method? What is your process? What is your framework? Once you get this right, people can easily decide that they would rather work with you, even if you charge more than others. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So it's something to really, build your personal brand around. So instead of just saying, oh, there are so many relationship coaches, don't worry, more are coming and they will all have customers. Just focus on defining your own process. Okay. The next thing is packaging. Packaging. Please let me first of all say that packaging is not vanity. It's pretty much why you comb your hair before you go out. Appeal is very important. And the point of packaging is that you influence how people feel about you by presenting yourself in the best way possible. You influence how people feel about you by presenting yourself in the best way possible. That's packaging. That's it. And trust me, if you can influence how people feel, then you've literally just gotten. If people feel like, oh, this is valuable, then they're going to put value on it. So packaging really helps you to communicate value. So look at this box. So there's this little pink box here. Imagine this and then your regular black nylon. I couldn't just get black nylon. I actually don't like seeing it. But imagine if it was just regular black nylon and then I was holding this. Even if this box was empty, you would be more interested in what is in here. You'll be more curious about what is in here. That's what packaging does for you. So if you're making a packaging mistake, this is how you will know. You don't customize how you show up. Your LinkedIn profile is some letters and some numbers. It's not your name. Your Instagram profile, your Instagram username is another name entirely. Facebook, another name. On today you are blue, next week you are red, then the other week you are purple. You are not customizing how you show up. Your email is still like email from like the one you used a long time ago, because many people have it. You're still using email that is like Miss 2095 gorgeous. No. So you have to customize how you show up, and that's packaging. Your email signature, your business document. So even if you work for yourself, your contracts, the way you present yourself will make people feel happy that, oh, they paid you money. They'll feel like, oh, I'm glad I paid for this. This is valuable, or this was worth purchasing. When you package yourself properly over time, people will take you more seriously. And then you become easily identifiable. So it's the same reason if I see some people's logo, even from afar, I already know who it is. If I see a color, I already know who it is. So you become easily identifiable, and then your expertise is desired. So packaging makes it desirable. It's the reason why you would choose this box over black nylon, even without knowing what's inside. It's the reason why, you see somebody who combed their hair and assume they're intelligent. You see somebody who looks nice, and then you assume that, this person must be organized, when in fact it might not be. So that's what packaging does for you. It helps you influence how people feel about your work. And what they feel about your work determines the value that they will place on it. It doesn't matter what value you call yourself. It's the value people place on it that's important. So how people feel about your work determines the value that they'll place on it. And that's what packaging does for you. The next one is not having a platform. You don't have a platform. Without a platform, you won't get seen and heard. Like, look at the literal meaning of platform. What's a platform? Platform is something you stand on so that people can see you or they can hear you. So what is your platform? Where are people hearing about you from? You need a place to serve your community from. You need a place to serve your community from. You need your own corner of the internet from which you serve your community. For some people, they say their platform is, their email list. Some will say it's their Instagram. Some will say, oh, it's LinkedIn. My advice about this is usually your platform cannot be something you don't own. Those things are amplifiers. It's pretty much like the difference between your voice and a loudspeaker. So those things are amplifiers, but you don't own them. So your platform should not just be entirely the things you don't own. Am I saying you shouldn't have social media? Of course not, you should. But understand the importance of, maybe having an email list that has the details of people in your audience. Understand the importance of a personal website. You need a place to serve your community from. And if you're going to profit sustainably from your personal brand, you have to keep serving. It's really that simple. Many times people just want to sell. But if you're going to sell and keep selling, then you have to keep serving. You have to keep serving. You have to be able to say, okay, even when I'm not selling anything, this is how people are getting value from me. This is how people are benefiting from me. This is how I am showing up every day. So what's your platform? For some people, it's WhatsApp stories, or is it called stories? I don't know. Yeah, WhatsApp stories. WhatsApp status, yes. I've heard that some people are so great at, at that. Like, that's where, everybody knows about them. Just understand where you are serving people from, and then be careful to make sure, like, if somebody takes away their platform, you won't be stranded. So for example, if you have people's phone numbers, it doesn't matter if Instagram packs up. If you have their email addresses, it doesn't matter if LinkedIn decides to go into another business tomorrow, you see. So you need a place to serve your community from, but make sure that it is your own. Then promotion. A promotion mistake would be that you're not talking about your work enough. So I was speaking with someone today, and she was like, people are not, people don't know about me. People are not hearing about what I'm doing. And, I asked her, when last did you post about it? And then she said, I'm actually lethargic about that. Like, she used the word lethargic. And, it just came together for me. And I was like, oh, that's why. And no judgment, right? Because I know that many people fall into this category. But if you're not talking about your work, then you can't be surprised that people don't know it exists. That's just what it is. So if you don't show your work or promote your ideas, You reduce your chances of coming to mind when relevant opportunities arise. So if somebody says, I want to invite someone to speak about building a community, meanwhile, you have built a thriving community of 500 people, but nobody knows, why would they invite you? Or somebody says, I want to invite someone to speak about real estate. Meanwhile, you have made millions from real estate, but nobody knows. So why they invite you? Or I want to invite someone to speak about forensic accounting, and that's your specialty, but nobody knows. So if you don't show your work, if you don't promote your ideas, you reduce your chances of coming to mind when relevant opportunities arise. So you need a personal content plan. And I'm not just talking about motivational quotes. Those things are okay, but you actually need to have different ways of talking about what you sell. So if you're not talking about your work, then it's no surprise at all. And you know that when you're not sharing this with people, you're hiding something that is beneficial to them. Visibility is a service. Visibility is a service, because think about it. If you agree with me that you are a light and that what you have is a gift and people need what you have, then you also agree with me that hiding it from them is denying them of something that is beneficial. So doing the work to be visible, doing the work to promote what you do, you're actually helping people. You're helping people. If you needed a graphic designer like yesterday, and somebody shows up and says, hey, you know, I'm a professional graphic designer. I did this. Look, here's something I just created. You'll be grateful. You even be saying, wow, God is so amazing. Look at that coincidence. But that's just because somebody decided to talk about their work. So why are you not talking about yours? Then the sixth thing is your products. This one is very simple. Like if you don't have a product, then of course, that may be why nobody is paying you, because you can't have paying clients if you don't offer any product or service. So what is your product? Or you have products that are not working. And I would like to encourage everyone who has products, go through your products and find out, are they working? Is this product working? It's better to have one product that gets results than to have 10 that only 2 people have used and even come back to say it worked. So it's either you don't have products or your products are not working. If you're making any of those, you know, if you're in any of those categories, then you need to do something about it. So you need to either start thinking about what product am I going to create, or which of my products am I going to either retire, or which one do I need to promote more often? So the thing that has come with this whole, you know, this internet boom and the digital economy is that so many people want to create products, people want to create things. In fact, like you see someone who will tell you, okay, so I have this idea to do this. I want to write 10 books next month, and then I want to create a course, and then I want to, you know, create a workbook, and then I also want to do a life coaching program. That's burnout waiting to happen. Like after 2 months, they'll be so tired. The other thing is that people might not get results. So that's why it's nice to have your own process first and say, okay, I'll take people through this process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That's the product. That's the transformational program. You can either do it as a group, or if you don't want to do it as a group, come and do it with me one-on-one. Same thing, just that you're offering it in different ways. 2 products without actually creating anything new. So instead of just thinking, okay, so I can create tools, I can create learning products, I can create courses, I can create coaching. Yes, you can. But maybe don't start with all of them. Have a product that works, and then let your people now start to tell you, okay, you know what? I think I'll need this from you. By the time you have 5 people, 8 people asking you for the same thing, then you know it's time to create another product. People put product before people, and that's why they don't make enough money. You need to put the people first. So if you have people, you're serving them, you know, you're sharing, listen to the questions they're asking, listen to the problems they're coming with, instead of going ahead to first of all go and create a product that nobody wants. Right. So if we look at the 6 pillars, here is what you're going to see: positioning, process, packaging, promotion, your platform, and your products. Those are the things that help you communicate your value to go from free to fee. But as beautiful as these things are, what makes your brand valuable is you. Is you. Your brand is valuable because of you. So Process can change. Packaging can improve. You can reinvent yourself. But here's what's not going to change. You are not going to change. You still have the same stories you had. You're still as brilliant as you've always been. In fact, even more brilliant. You're still as credible. You still have great reputation with people. No matter what you do and no matter where you go, you're always going to carry that along with you. So you must never, ever forget that your brand is valuable because of you. I'm a personal branding strategist and I talk about personal branding all the time. But here's one thing I know. Even if you pull down everything around your personal brand and decide to reinvent yourself tomorrow, your brand is still going to be valuable. So your brand is valuable because of you. And if you can, if you stay conscious of that, it would help you, it would help you to not like keep jumping from tactic to tactic. All those things are nice. Pictures with influencers are nice. Having a logo is nice. But don't even say that you cannot start putting yourself out there until you have a logo. Don't tell me that, oh, you can't start putting yourself out there because you don't know your colors yet. No, your brand is valuable because of you. So the first things are, those things we talked about. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why should they choose you? That's more important than, how many blog pages you have or how many colors are on your palette. Your brand is valuable because of you. Purpose and profit can sit in the same sentence. If you don't take anything away from the session tonight, you have to take this away. And I say this with a lot of intention and a sense of responsibility, because I realize that the type of people in this room, we are the type of people that are passionate about adding value. In fact, some of us can clearly say, I'm not here for the money. We are passionate about adding value. We are passionate about, about changing lives, about helping the next generation, about building a legacy, about building a good name. I agree with that. I think it's beautiful. I think that that's how life is meant to be. But purpose and profit can sit in the same sentence. I've shown you examples of people, from entrepreneurs to relationship coaches to someone who teaches people how to have intimacy with God to someone who is tackling cancer, different examples. So purpose and profit can sit in the same sentence. The most important thing is to just remember that it's not about being a genius. It's about being generous. So you have to put generosity over genius. That's what you must understand. There's no time to say, oh, okay, when I get certified, then I will create a product. Or when I get certified, then I'll take up speaking invites. No, it's not about being a genius. It's not as if you are the #1 expert in the entire world about your topic. It's just that you're generous enough to raise your hand and say, here's what I have to offer. So you don't have to be a genius to help somebody. You don't have to be a genius to contribute. You don't have to be a genius to make a difference. You don't have to be a genius to change one person's life. And if you agree with me about that, then you know that it's all about progress and not perfection. Nobody is perfect on day one, so we can't even deceive ourselves. That idea of waiting for something to be perfect, you can't perfect what you've not started. So somebody might have been watching this and just saying, process. I thought about writing down my process last month, but I was just waiting. What are you waiting for? You can't perfect what you've not started. So progress is more important than perfection. Let's just keep going, keep going, keep going. Start already, please. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going, because if you don't get it going, people still don't have it. Do you know that what you've done is more useful than what you're still trying to make perfect? If you have something that you are still trying to make perfect, it's useless because it's still not out there. People still haven't been able to use it. What's the definition of use? Something that people can use. So done is better than perfect. It's important to get it out. It's important to start. The better you start, the better. Don't say, the earlier you start, the better. Don't say, okay, so I'll start in Q2 of 2021. Why? Why? The earlier you start, the better. You can always change it. You can learn from it. You can improve it. You can recreate it. You can reinvent it. But you cannot learn from something that you have not even started doing. And this is not about not being excellent. Be excellent where you are right now. Listen, like if you look back at your photo shoot from 5 years ago, you just be laughing. You just be laughing because you look at that hair and you're like, I really thought I was a babe. That's how it works. You look at your suits and you'll be asking yourself, what is this shoulder pad all about? Or you look at your trousers from 10 years ago, but at that time, you actually thought you were looking excellent. You actually thought you were the definition of fashionista. So yeah, start today. And then the next thing is abundance, not scarcity. A lot of experts and speakers, they start to say, oh, but everybody is doing this. Let me explain what's going on. You know how when you want a car, you start seeing that car everywhere. Like this literally happened to me 3 months ago. So like, when you want a car, or maybe when you just buy a car, you will start seeing it like that specific car. You won't see your former car again, though. That your specific car is what you now be seeing everywhere. It's not as if more of those cars came on the road. It's just that that's where your focus is right now. It's the same thing. Because you are in this industry, you think everybody is doing it. If I tell you to name 7,000 coaches now, you cannot. Meanwhile, there are over 7.8 billion people in the world. So it's not as if everybody is doing it. The world is a big place. There's enough oxygen for everyone to breathe. There's enough space for birds to fly. I don't believe that there is scarcity of anything. Nothing at all. We have more of most of the things that we'll ever need. Food will continue to grow. So there is no scarcity. There is nothing like the clients are not enough. There is nothing like the best things in life are already taken. Please don't say things like that. The best things in life are free. Don't say things like that. Don't say, oh, the good clients are taking, or how will I compete with someone like FD? No, you're not supposed to be competing with him. You're not at all. You're supposed to be doing your own thing. You're supposed to be going to the people that God has sent you to. And the thing that you must remember is that you have a perspective that some people need. You know how you look at someone talking about personal finance and you'll be like, what's this one saying? This one has never suffered. Because you believe that it's somebody that has suffered, that has gone through what you have gone through, that should be opening their mouth to teach you. Exactly, that's a perspective. Same thing with different topics. Everybody has a perspective that they need. So there is enough to go around. And at the end of the day, the world is a big place. The world is a very big place. There are enough people for all of us. There are enough people in the world for you to find someone who likes you, for you to find someone who loves the sound of your voice, for you to find someone who thinks that you are beautiful enough, you are fashionista enough, you are smart enough, your accent is perfect. They're just all right with you. Because you don't need everybody. You don't need everybody. It is true. It is true in relationships. It is true in business. It is true in ministry. It is true even in branding. You don't need everybody. You just need the right people. You need the right people to know about you. You need the right people to listen to you. You need the right people to trust you and buy from you. If you had like 10,000 clients coming today, what are you going to do? Just 10,000. I don't mean like the 7 billion people in the world. What are you going to do? So you see that it's not actually as if you need everybody. So listen to the people that you have been sent to, focus on them, and an audience of 2 will become 200, will become 2,000. You actually do not need everybody. You only need the right people. Thank you. Put generosity over genius. You don't have to be a genius to help somebody. You don't have to be a genius to contribute. You don't have to be a genius to make a difference. You don't have to be a genius to do anything. You just have to be generous. You just have to be willing. You just have to say, I think I can solve that problem. I think I can help that person. And you know how it works. Somebody that is in SS1 can help somebody that is in GSS2. Somebody that is doing a PhD can help someone that is just working on their masters. So it's not really about being the one with the highest years of experience. It's just about being the most generous person in the room. So what kind of person are you going to be? Are you going to be a generous person? Are you ready to put yourself out there? Are you ready to let your voice be heard? Are you ready to let your light be seen? That's the question for you to answer. Thank you.